Hey, nerdy sports fan, we're talking week 17 NFL action. And this one, we have the Chargers playing at the Chiefs. Now, this shouldn't matter, but it does because of playoff seeding. The Chiefs still want to win this game in order to keep ahead of the Texans. Um, keep, I don't know, do what they can to get a better matchup in the playoffs. They can't improve to the point where they get a first round bye. As far as I know, they're pretty much stuck in the wild card game. But staying ahead of the Texans will avoid playing the Bills in the first round of the playoffs, and they'll get the Titans, it seems, which may not work out for them because the Titans have already beaten them in Kansas City this season. So yeah, this is interesting to see what the Chiefs are going to want to do here. Do they want the matchup with the Titans again? Or do they want to try their hand against the Bills, who are the stronger overall team? Yeah, decisions, right? So anyways, the Chiefs are still going to be trying, and this is a division matchup. So I very much anticipate the Chiefs to win, and win decisively. Not necessarily a huge overall numbers win, mostly because I expect them to be ahead early enough by big enough that they're not going to be trying by the end of the game, and that'll give the Chargers a chance to catch up if they're still putting effort forth. And I know at the very least Philip Rivers will be. That guy is so intense. It's insane. He does not know how to take his foot off the gas. So he'll be in it, and it's a matter of whether or not his teammates respond to his energy level and stay in the game in the way that he is. I do anticipate enough of them, too, to keep the score less laughable towards the end. So the 9-point spread is a dangerous thing to bet in favor of the Chiefs because of a handful of factors. The divisional thing makes it so they know each other pretty well. The Chargers actually have a lot of talent on the roster. They just didn't do crap with it this year. And if the Chiefs get far enough ahead early, they're just going to be phoning it in, and the Chargers have a chance to come back into it a little bit and at least make it look less like a dominating one-sided performance by the end. So for that reason, I actually think the Chargers are going to beat the spread. They're not going to win the game. Chiefs are winning this thing all day. But the Chargers are likely to cover. So fantasy football-wise, if you're still in fantasy football, you're in the finals, and you got a bad, GM, whatever you call him, administrator of your league, because running a league straight to week 17 is crap. There's a lot of games this week that just don't matter, and a lot of starters are going to be sitting. But in this one, you absolutely need to play, Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek. These guys are going to toss up numbers in huge quantities. Damian Williams, I would put out there as well. Normally, I avoid Chiefs running backs like the plague, but every time I see LaShawn McCoy touch the ball, he seems worse. So Damian is definitely cementing himself as the go-to option in the backfield as the season progresses. It's just a one-game kind of flash, though. It's still a committee running back room, but they're going up against the Chargers, and the Chargers have just been lifeless on defense. I don't know why. I mean, they've got real talent in a lot of positions. They just can't seem to put it together. Really one-sided, at least early. The Chargers coming back in garbage time is how I really see this hashing out. As far as Chargers players, Keenan Allen's been up and down, mostly down of late, and Mike Williams is taking over as the best option in that receiving room, if not already taken over. So Mike Williams is likely to get the bulk of the benefits of the, good red zone targets, that sort of thing, from Phillip Rivers. Keenan Allen's been a bit of a disappointment late in the season. The tight end has been inconsistent from the Chargers. Running back has been very consistent due to Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler has, he's the number 4 or 5 fantasy running back all season. And it's largely because of his receiving numbers. But even with Melvin Gordon coming back, not a lot of people expected Austin Ekeler to remain the best option in the backfield, but he has. So Melvin Gordon will likely get his wish and be out of town because Austin Ekeler makes it so he's expendable. So Gordon's likely to not get the contract he's looking for, and he seriously overplayed his hand. The Chargers have a lot to do in the offseason. They may fire their coach. I don't think Anthony Lynn necessarily deserves that. His offense has been bad. They fired the offensive coordinator halfway through the season. It didn't really improve at that point. And you have to point the finger at Phillip Rivers. He's getting older. That much is true for all of us, obviously, but he's got like 8 kids. He's had a very long NFL career. His arm it doesn't have the live action that it used to or the accuracy. So they need to move on from him. And I don't think their record's bad enough to really lock down one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. So they got to do some moving. So they're going to have to trade to really lock down a more solid position in the draft in order to get one of the better quarterback options. And that might mean some action on Melvin Gordon. Who knows? There's going to be some serious shaking up. The roster, the coaching staff may not at all look the same next season. It also may look uncomfortably similar. The Chargers have a real problem with the organization right now. They don't have anything defining them at all. They left the city. They're not really sure if they're locked in on the city they're moving to. And man, do they need something to really rile their fan base up, because they don't necessarily have one. It was already pretty difficult having a locked-in fan base in San Diego because you're competing with, the beach and a lot of other things to do. So, yeah, now just not being good, moving to a different city, there's no excitement around this team for any sort of fan base to lock into. And it's going to be very difficult for them moving forward. So with coaching and personnel decisions, they should shake it up to energize some amount of fan base. They may not, probably due to financial situations. The owner's not making a huge amount of money off of a team that's not doing really well and hasn't for some time. So I don't know exactly how the finances are shaken out, but I know they're not as good as a lot of ownership groups around the league. So keep an eye out, Chargers fans. A lot needs to happen for your team, and probably not as much as what needs to happen will, due to the ownership situation and the transition of cities. So I'm sorry, guys. It's probably going to be a few years of irrelevance before anything good happens to you. Anyways, that's what I have for this game. Check out the rest of the videos for more fantasy football advice if you even need it at this point. Happy holidays to you.